4. You Don't Know What Love Is by the White Stripes off of Icky Thump. And just real quick, when I was at Third Man Records not too long ago, I picked up a vinyl copy of Icky Thump. So now that is in my collection. Happy about that. So, You Don't Know What Love Is. It's a little bit more complex song. I'm going to try to keep moving. Otherwise, it'll be too long of a video. So let's get right to it. That was what we'll call the opening solo, or the solo riff that shows up a couple of times through the song. I love that riff. There's also a rhythm behind it. This song is best performed with two people, two guitars. And let's talk about the rhythm first. And that is going to be simple chords. A chord, E, D, back to A. Okay, so you should know those, and I'll put them up on the screen real quick. A, E, D, back to A. Okay, now a lot of times in the song I'll kind of hear as if he's hitting it twice, but when I listen really closely, I think it's just the drums creating that sound, and I think Jack's actually just going. So play it however you want. I don't think there's a wrong way to play that. I do just hear one hit on that, and then he just kind of stops it abruptly. But again, do it both ways, and I think maybe a couple of times in the song, maybe during the chorus, he might be hitting it twice. So that's enough of that. So during the opening solo riff, he just goes A, E, D, A 4 times. He's laying that as the rhythm. When the lyrics start, it's very similar. He just modifies it a little bit as he goes through. First time through is the exact same. In some respects, I suspect you've got a respectable side. So that's all the same. When pushed and pulled and pressured, you seldom run and hide. So the only difference there is when he says you seldom run and hide, he goes back to an E. So it's A, E, D, A, E, D, E. And now let me qualify that. I don't hit the fat strings on that second E. I just hit the skinny strings. Gives a little bit higher tone. If you want to, you can play that E chord up here. So it'd be something like this. When pushed and pulled and pressured, you seldom run and hide, but it's for someone else's benefit. So you go back to the A, back to the E like you're starting over, but he changes it up at the end and goes C, G, A. You can also play those open chords. C, G, A. So I'll put up what a C chord looks like, what a G chord looks like, and then of course back to your A. Or you can do those in power chords. Or you can go up for that A chord. There's always more than one way to play a chord, remember that. And so this is a good song to practice playing them in different spots on the fretboards. So let's just recap the lyrics real quick. In some respects, I suspect you've got a respectable side. When pushed and pulled and pressured, you seldom run and hide, but it's for someone else's benefit, not for what you want to do. What you want to do. C to G to A. So, A, E, D, A. A, E, D, E, only the skinny strings. A, E, C, G, A. There you go. Those are the chords that make up the lyrics and also the chorus of this song. Now, before he goes into the chorus, there is a little transition there. That sounds something like this. What you want to do until I realize that you realize I'm gonna say these words to you. is the chorus. So that little transition is the exact same chords, A, E, D, A, and then he hits that A 4 times before going right back into the exact same pattern while he sings the lyrics. You don't know what love is. I think that's when he really hits it twice. You don't know what love is. You do as you're told. Just as a child of 10 might act, but you're far too old. You're not hopeless or helpless, and I hate to sound cold. Now, this part. You don't know what love is. E to G. So we've played the G already. You don't know what love is. So that little run is open A to the 2nd fret. You just hammer onto the 2nd fret. And then the open D 3 times, and then you hammer on for a 4th tone onto the 2nd fret. And then the G string you hit twice, hammer onto the 2nd fret, and then pull off to reveal the G note tone. So it would be... You can hit the string with the pick if you want to, or you can just create it when you remove your finger. And that goes back into the solo riff that the song started with. And so you go back to the A, E, D, A, and you just do that 4 times while that part is going on, which we'll get to in just a minute. I do want to just add one little part that is done with a keyboard, and later it's done with a guitar, but it's basically this little melody. First time you hear that, it's on a keyboard. Second time you hear it, it's on a guitar with a little bit more distortion than this and maybe a little bit more tone. And he also shuts his guitar off and on during that. You can play that up here, and I'll just go over it real quick. So that's going to be 15, 14, 12 on the B string, back to the 14 on the B string, and then the 14 on the G string. And you can get the exact same notes if you go down here 12 frets and go. So that's going to be 3rd, 2nd, open on the B string, back to the 2nd, and then the 2nd on the G string. So you might do that there the first time where it's a keyboard. The second time do it up here with a little bit more distortion and a little bit more punch behind it, or however you want to do it. But those are the notes. You can even do it right here. Ends on that A note. Okay, so that starts back to the opening solo riff. Next is the bridge. That sounds something like this. He does that 4 times. So those are some pretty simple power chords. They are E, G, A, and then a higher octave E chord. And so that's going to be the 7th fret of the A string. And then you go to a C power chord, which is the 8th fret of the E string. You can also play your C power chord down here. That would be the 3rd fret of the A string. Same chord, same notes right there. So ends on A. Both little runs end on A. 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 And then the very last time, the 4th time through, he just double hits that E power chord like this. Just hits it an extra 2 times before the normal 2 times. Okay, so after the bridge, there's kind of a pause, and he goes back to the, which we'll learn here in just a second. So I need to interject one quick thought, and it's right before the solo, when he's saying, "But you don't know what love is. No, you don't know what love is. No, you don't is just going from E to G, E to G. And then it goes to the guitar solo at the end, and that's the same structure as the opening rhythm. A, E, D, A. And I think he does it 6 times. It's longer than the opening. The opening is 4 times through. I think that might be 6 times through. But I didn't actually count them. I just know it's longer. So I think that's it. I think that's all the rhythm parts. And we just need to worry about the solo now. So let's work on the opening solo riff that's done, of course, a couple of times through the song. And it's really following those same chords of A, E, D, A. And let's start with this. So you're going to hit the B and E strings. You're going to hit the 2nd fret of the B twice. Then you lift your finger and hit them both open. So I'm hitting 2 strings. The B and the E, 2nd fret of the B, and then both open. And then it goes to the G string. You hit it open and then hammer on to the 1st fret. Hit the B and the E open. So open G, hammer onto the 1st fret, and then hit the B and E strings open. Now you're going to hit the B and E again, this time both on the 3rd fret, a couple of times. And then you go to just the 2nd fret of the E string. You hit the B string open as well. So that's an open B string. Hammer on to the 2nd fret. And then hit the open E string. Hit the B string 2nd fret and then release to the B string open. So you're kind of going up a little ladder. You go open B, B 2nd fret, open E, B 2nd fret, open B. And then that resolves on the 2nd fret of the G. And then it starts over. Does the same thing, and then this time it does that little lilty run. It does it twice, and then it goes, you'll hit the open G string, hammer on to the 1st fret like you did before, but this time you'll pull off to reveal that G note again. You can hit it with the pick, I usually don't. And then that resolves on the D string 2nd fret. Back to the 3rd fret of the B and E, to the 2nd fret of the E, and you also include the open B in that. Do that little lilt again. That's open B, hammer onto the 2nd fret, open E, 2nd fret of the B, pull off to the open B. Resolve on the 2nd fret of the G. And then starts over. Then you hit that A power chord along with the rhythm, which is doing that, or you can just let the rhythm do it. So that's it. That's the opening riff solo and the middle of the song solo. And that ends with him repeating that lilt. In fact, that's how the song itself ends. And that's it. I think we're ready for the actual solo at the end of the song. Now he uses, and I've got one here, a whammy pedal that makes this sound like this. And I won't be using that during this discussion here. It's a little bit too piercing, but with music, it sounds great, as Jack White knows. And so, if you have a whammy, use it. If you don't have a whammy pedal, don't worry about it. Just play the song. You know, play the same notes that we'll be talking about here. It'll still sound good, and that'll be entertaining to those listening. So let's start with the solo. It's on the B string. You're going to go 17 a couple of times, 15, 14, back to 15. And then back to the 17. So again, down the ladder, up the ladder. Now you're going to go 15, 14, 15, 17. So I'll do those two again. And then you start over and do the same thing, only instead of ending on that 17, you'll end on the 14 of the G string. Okay, and then it goes. So that's the way I play it. I go 14, 15, I'm on the B string, 14, 15, then I bend the 15. I bend it and release, or bend it and then unbend it. That is 14, 16, 14 on the G string. Now you can bend that 15 as I was, or you can go. It's just a little clumsier to me. I just kind of like going. See, it's a little bit clumsy for me. So you can play it how you like. You can bend it to the 17 or actually go up to the 17, whichever feels more natural to you or sounds better to you. So again, that little section ends with 14, 16, 14 on the G string. Next in the solo is E string 17. Twice, and then the 15 on the E, 17 on the B, 15 on the E again. And it ends on the 17 on the E. So another example of kind of going down the ladder and back up the ladder, or whichever direction you want to call it. So 17, 15, 17 of the B, 15 of the E, back to 17. The next part is on the 19. You'll hit the 19 twice, the 20 just once, and then back to the 19 once. You'll repeat that pattern from 17 to 19. And then you'll do it again from 15 to 17, but you'll bend to 17. And then you'll bend the 17 again. Up and down, 15 on the E, 17 on the B. Bend the 15 and then go to the 15 on the B. And then you'll go 12, 13, 15 on the B. So again, climbing a ladder here, you're going to go 12, 13, 15 on the B. Grab 12 on the E and then back down 15, 13, 12 on the B, and then it resolves on the 14 on the G. Oh, I left a little part out. You'll toggle back and forth on that 12 to 13 a couple of times. Up to the 13 that extra time, back down to the 12. And then it resolves on the 14 of the G. Okay, now we're going to go back up to the 19. You'll hit it, bend it, release it, and then go to the 17. So the 19, hit it, bend it, release it, and then down to the 17. And you do it again, I think, only you bend it twice the second time. Yeah, you'll hit that 17 preemptively before you go back up to that 19. So when you get up there, it'll sound like this. Got that? 19, bend it once, end on the 17. Hit the 17 again before you bend a double bend on the 19 back to the 17. So bend the 20 on the B down to the 17 on the B. And then it goes from the 15 on the B to the 17 on the B to the 15 on the E to the 17 on the B. And then you're going to put one finger on the 12th fret of the E string, another finger on the 14th fret of the B string, and you'll do that twice. And so I'm just bending the B string there on that 14th fret. A few different ways you can get that tone or that sound. You know, you can put your finger up on the 15th fret. I just like that. I've got a little bit more control right there. I don't know that that's exactly what he's doing, but it's certainly close enough for rock and roll. And the last little run is this. My finger's getting a traffic jam on that last little run right there, just on that last note or two. So you're going to bend the 17, bend it up and release it, and go to the 15th fret. So 17 to 15. And then the 17 of the B, 15, 14, back to the 15, back to the 14, and then 14 on the G. So again, use your whammy pedal if you have it. If you don't, just maybe use a fuzz pedal to give it that extra attitude. If you don't have a fuzz pedal, just do something with your amp to make it sound a little cranky. And then the very last thing is that little run that we discussed earlier. I think that's it. Like I say, pretty, you know, of a lot of the White Stripes song, this one has the most layers. It has the most finger work, you know, other than some of the slide guitar songs like Catch Hell Blues or Ball and Biscuit. Obviously that's got a lot more to learn. This is certainly attainable. It just takes a lot of practice and getting down that finger work. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. You know, that makes my day when I get a thumbs up on one of my videos. So if you liked this video, then click that button. If you haven't subscribed already, feel free to do so. That's another reward that I get for making these videos. Otherwise, it's just a lot of fun. And I hope you enjoyed it. That's it. Over and out from my easy chair.